So, diet hacks. That's what we're going to talk about today. I thought I'll share with you some of the things now that food is pretty much dust. Dust with a bit of protein, dust with a bit of fat. It's more or less dust. So I thought, I'll try and show you some of the products that I use now to try and stretch food out there and try and create the illusion of fullness in the absence of actual food. So basically, I'd say a couple of staples when it gets on is probably Truvia or stevia. Okay, this is kind of plant-based sweetener, so that stuff you can stick in. Got a bit of a sweet tooth, that stuff's really good. Cinnamon, you might hate it, but you're probably going to learn to like it by the time you start doing this. Again, you can be savoury, it can be sweet, you can shove it in everything. It's meant to have good health benefits too. Peanut butter, this is my favourite one at the moment, this Whole Earth one. Crunching, really loving this right now. I keep having favourite peanut butters, and then Sainsbury's only sold this one, and I bought it and I was like, oh, this is really nice. And then honey, just because again it's a natural sugar, but only a little bit. So what I like to do for meal free is basically, it's usually a protein shake and then a bit of peanut butter. But to try and make the peanut butter into maybe like a little bit of a dessert, what I do is I weigh my peanut butter out. I'm currently only allowed 20 grams, and then I put a tiny bit of cinnamon through it, a little bit of honey just to loosen it. In off season sometimes I'll use jam because you're not counting the calories so much, but tiny little bit of honey just to loosen it, because some peanut butters can be quite solid. And then these are the other really good products that I've been using this year. These aren't diet products, they're milkshake products. But they're literally just like 12 calories a teaspoon, and you only need a teaspoon. So what are they? Free from dairy, gluten, nuts, GMOs, no chemical processing, no additives, no preservatives, no palm oil, vegan, just fruit sweetness. So they're, natural. Sometimes some of these 0 calorie products are just full of sweetener and they just taste rubbish. These actually taste quite nice. In with that peanut butter bits, I put a little bit of that. That's a caramel flavoured one, the chocolate shake caramel. I put a tiny little bit of that in, and it makes the nicest dessert. I'm actually looking forward to off season. That meal will probably go back up to about 40 grams, 50 grams of nuts or peanut butter. That's going to make a really nice dessert. The other thing that you'll see a lot of fitness people do, and I can show you this one because I probably will eat this one in a little minute, is why the obsession with cucumber. I know, you hear me going on about it all the time. Basically cucumber, it's just full of water, so there's basically very little calories in it. So it's a good one to snack on. And obviously it's pretty much 70% water or something like that. So basically the deal with cucumber is that you sort of make it into a sort of dessert. Don't chop your hand off. I really, really despise these plastic wrappers. They're really just beginning to melt me a little bit. And you can basically just have as much as you like, so knock yourself out. Basically every single meal I have right now is probably padded out with cucumber. But then sometimes at a weekend when I'm home, or sometimes in an evening, I might be sitting and I might start to get hungry. So not just on its own, but again, as much as a little you like. This is going to kind of be like a pre-dinner appetizer, because I'm classy like that. And then basically just to jazz it up, again, cinnamon, just trust the process. Don't question, just go for it. A little bit of cinnamon. You don't have to add the cinnamon, if I'm honest, but I think it just jazzes it up a little bit more. It just makes it work. Yeah, you're thinking, oh, she's totally lost the plot. Don't knock it till you've tried it, okay? And your stevia or your Truvia, and you just sprinkle it over, and it just kind of just sweetens it, and it makes like a sort of weird dessert. But obviously there's just 0 calories in that. There's no calories in this. There's very little calories in the cucumber, and it will just tide you over for an hour or so. When food gets really low and you start to get really hungry, it looks a little bit crazy, it's a little bit weird. You probably wouldn't want to eat it if you didn't have to eat it. It's not that amazing, but when you sort of getting a bit desperate, it's kind of nice. So that is the cucumber trick, and that is the fascination with cucumber. One of the other products I'm liking right now are these 10 calorie jellies. Again, there's not really any carbohydrate, protein or anything in these. They're just literally a mass of flavour and 10 calories again, and the sweetener. They're not amazing again on their own, but actually when you're dieting, they're not. Snap that one a little bit. They're not too bad. And actually what I quite like to do with them is sometimes put them through my Greek yogurt, so I still have 100 grams of Greek yogurt as a snack on my training days, and sometimes that through the Greek yogurt is actually really nice. Or again, if you're just getting really hungry, it will just fill your dinner out, or a dessert. If you're dying for a dessert, you're a bit of a sweet tooth. With everything you have to be a little bit careful of the calories when you're adding in all these little other things. Just be mindful. The only other thing that I do differently on a Sunday, my last meal of the day will be a protein and a carb meal. To make this meal go a bit further now, rather than have the carbs with the meal, one of the carbs I'm allowed is either oats or rice. And I kind of find it a bit weird having oats with a meal. I would have rice, but the rice is about 50 grams now of rice, which is tiny. I kind of make like a sort of oat pudding, like you would a rice pudding, but make like a pudding. I suppose it's like sweet porridge really. Usually when I have my oats during the week, I have protein powder for it, and I think it's 65 grams I'm allowed. So I'll weigh out 65. It used to be a lot more than this, but obviously now it's coming down. And I'll just do it with hot water. So I'll boil that and I'll pour it later. I won't completely rinse it now. And then basically all I'll put through that is probably a little bit of Truvia to sweeten it, a little bit of cinnamon again, and whatever I'm feeling actually, whether I'm feeling a little bit of chocolate, whether I'm feeling, probably won't need the honey if I put the Truvia through it. Or I might even try this one tonight. This is new. I found this round the agave sugars and the stuff like that. It's just a new product, so I sort of make up a very small sweet porridge for my dessert tonight. That will just sort of make two meals rather than have a tiny portion of rice with chicken and vegetables. I can kind of make like a chicken salad for my main, and then I'll get like a sort of oats to finish, and then I actually feel quite sort of satiated on that on a Sunday night, and actually don't feel too bad. This stuff's brilliant. I mentioned it before. It's just olive oil but in a spray form. That's been really, really good. It's a really simple thing but useful. I absolutely adore salad cream. Again, if you like tomato ketchups and stuff, there's no reason why to stop using them, but be mindful of how much sauce you're putting on everything, because there is still calories in those. The only other spices that I tend to use a lot of is paprika and turmeric. Turmeric's meant to have really good health benefits to it, and I don't mind the taste. They're my sort of two favourite spices, along with cinnamon that just goes in everything. That's probably about it. I imagine people probably have more, but what I have on my diet, that's really the extent of it. You just pad everything out with veg. Quick update as to this week. It was a good week, good training week. It's getting hard. I'm beginning to feel a bit fatigued and quite tired. So the training sessions are beginning to, my energy levels are just beginning to dip a little bit. So I'm just going to have to dig deep for the next 5 weeks. But I'm not dreading them. If anything, now that we're getting towards the end, I think you get that little bit of encouragement to keep going. I'm beginning to get a little bit forgetful. Forgetting to take things to work. Generally the memory and the mind's starting to go a little bit as it does. I've not been too bad on the mood swings. James will probably know better on my mood swings.
It's just a beast, 24/7.
I'm hoping that I'm not too bad on the grumpy stakes. I'm hoping that
It'll come.
You're gonna get hungry and tired, and then you eventually get grumpy. I'm still feeling good about everything. Posing's coming along nicely. I think I'm not looking too bad where I need to be. We're all good for now, so just head down and keep going. I shall be up in Leeds again next Saturday, so hopefully another productive week. I shall catch up with you then. Bye!
Good, you finally finished then. There's a lot of talking with this diet stuff, isn't there? A lot of babbling, a lot of talking, but interesting information as always. Well done, darling. Yeah, I'm glad you finished finally. Anyway, as I always say.
Well, I'll let you get on and edit that one.
That's a wrap.